What does everybody think about that? Because obviously the first video doesn't show it all, but I think it's clear by this that Chris Caporaso didn't do anything wrong, even though the DMV employees and the security guard both lied, which makes absolutely no sense at all because the stuff they were lying about still isn't a crime, still doesn't justify what happened. They said Chris was in there swearing. Okay, and Chris said he never swore. Chris said he got aggravated for a second, and then he realized that him getting aggravated and him talking was doing absolutely no good. And you see him step back and let his wife handle everything. So I'm not getting where Luigi thought it was appropriate and okay to not just allow Chris to leave, but to follow him out the door, to the door, and antagonize him the whole way. Why didn't he go sit back and play on his phone? Because that's what it looks like he does most of the day anyways. He sits in his chair, he sits back, and he doesn't really do much. But of course, as we know, security's job isn't actually to stop anything. It's to observe and report. But it appears like Luigi just wanted to feel like the good old days and whoop up on somebody not really doing anything wrong. Wanted to feel like he was on the force again. It looks like Hamden PD isn't going to do much about it because they had multiple witnesses, they had broken property, yet they did absolutely nothing about it. If that was two citizens, I would bet my life that somebody would have been arrested that day. But since it was a clown that works for the state, a clown that used to wear the same costumes as them, they weren't going to do anything. They only did something when they had to. And they realized it was all caught on video. That's when the charges came. There's 8 people listed in the report along with Chris. This is the report that was written that afternoon. Christopher completed a written field statement. I then interviewed Luigi Amasino, who confirmed he observed Christopher speaking with Felicia Green. Luigi stated that after his appointment, Christopher became visibly upset and allegedly said, "That bitch fucked me in the ass," before exiting with his wife, Whitney Caporaso. Luigi stated that 5 minutes later, Christopher and Whitney returned and proceeded directly to the manager's window. Christopher allegedly began yelling and frightening patrons. Luigi was called over to ask them to leave. Luigi said that as the couple walked out, Christopher turned with a cell phone at chest height, a clenched fist, giving what Luigi describes as a threatening look, which led Luigi to believe an assault was imminent. Luigi then grabbed his cell phone, believing it might be used as a weapon, attempting to physically escort Christopher out, during which he stated Christopher resisted. Luigi said he then took Christopher to the ground and instructed DMV staff to contact the police. He later allowed Christopher to stand. Luigi completed a written field statement. Felicia Green stated that she felt threatened by Christopher's tone, but acknowledged that no actual threats were made by him toward her or others. I also spoke with Nicole Rivera, branch manager, and Yvette Roby, supervisor, both of whom said they would submit a request for security footage from DMV headquarters in Wethersfield, as they could not provide it on site. I then interviewed 2 witnesses separately, Nancy Vanilla Tavares and Yvonne Williams. Both of whom had stated that Christopher appeared loud and angry inside the DMV, but was quiet and non-disruptive while exiting. Both also observed Luigi verbally antagonizing Christopher while following him out. Neither witnesses saw the beginning of the physical altercation. It was not a physical altercation, it was an attack. It was an unprovoked attack. Both parties refused to write a written field statement. Subsequently, I received a DVD with security footage from DMV headquarters. While the footage lacked in audio, it was consistent with the account given by Christopher and the 2 civilian witnesses. The video showed Christopher calmly turning towards Luigi with a cell phone at chest level in his right hand and his left hand at his side or in his pocket. Luigi then aggressively grabbing and throwing the phone against the wall. Luigi pushed Christopher once inside the DMV and then again outside through the front doors. Christopher approached Luigi with hands down and Luigi took him to the ground. Luigi then released Christopher a short time later. The DVD was entered into evidence as well as recorded video being entered into evidence.com. Based on Christopher Caporaso's detailed statement, injury and property damage documentations, witness statements from Nancy Vanillas Blah and Yvonne Blah, and surveillance video evidence corroborating the physical assault and property damage, I have probable cause to believe that Luigi Amasino committed the following offenses: 53A, 61, assault in the third degree. 53A, 117, criminal mischief in the third degree. 53A, 181, breach of peace in the second degree. Based on the totality of the circumstances, I will be applying for an arrest warrant for the above offenses. As we see up top, date of incident 5/1/25, date of report 5/16/25. They didn't do absolutely anything until they got the video, despite all the witnesses, the damage done. At this point, they knew that he had injuries greater than what it appeared like that day. It's just weird how when it's a state employee or an ex-cop, they really push this due process narrative, like everybody gets due process. They don't. Supplemental narrative summary on 5/28/25 at approximately 16:23 hours. I, Officer T. Hargrove, number 62, and Officer L, whatever that is, 42, responded to the front lobby of the Hamden Police Department concerning warrant service. Reference CN 25-13-5-10. Upon my arrival, Luigi Amasino was turning himself in on a warrant by the Hamden Police Department. The warrant charge was for assault third degree, breach of peace second degree, and criminal mischief third degree. This warrant held a promise to appear. Luigi was patted down, revealing no weapons or contraband. I escorted Luigi to the Hamden Police Department detention facility. I processed Luigi following the department's policies and procedures. Alvin was assigned UAR number with a scheduled Alvin. Court date for 6/11/25 to appear in Meriden Superior Court. Luigi signed the appropriate Hamden Police Department booking paperwork. Luigi acknowledged and was given a copy of his notice of rights and promised to appear with a court date for 6/11/25, which means he was supposed to be arraigned on 6/11/25. But magically his court date now got bumped to 8/8/25, which would mean either, I don't understand how he had court that day and he was supposed to be arraigned, and yet it didn't happen, because when you look up his name on the Connecticut court website, it says his arraignment is set for 8/8/25. You go catch a charge and then call court and say, hey, I don't want to come in for 2 months. Let me get a 2-month continuance before I ever even show up. You think they're going to do it? I don't. I know they wouldn't do it for me. They've already proven that. As we see, Luigi and the DMV employees overall just appear like liars. And he was swearing and he was doing this and that when he said he didn't swear at all. Even if he did swear, that doesn't really change anything at all. I didn't see anybody else appear to be scared or frightened by him. Did anybody else? And let's not pretend like even if that was the case, this was justified. I bet you half the people that walk into DMV are aggravated, are annoyed. I know I would be. I know if I had to wait 2 months just to even get into the DMV to register my vehicle or do whatever I was going to do, I would be annoyed walking through the door. I don't understand why we're still under these COVID restrictions for DMV. This new system doesn't do anything but make their job easier, make their life easier. Yeah, it's nice to be able to book an appointment and go in there and get your stuff done with, and quickly. It also takes 2 months, 3 months longer than it used to. So saving a little bit of time that day worth a 2-3 month wait? I don't think so. I think our DMVs should be open back up like they should be. You should be able to go handle your business when you need to. But that's my opinion. As we know, Luigi was a failed officer. The dog bit multiple people. He was a canine cop, a failed canine cop. And then he ended up quitting the department and then coming back out and saying, no, they made me quit. They forced me to quit. And he tried to sue them and he lost. Despite him failing epically at being a public servant, USI Security thought he would be a great fit for public service to work in the security industry. They hired him. He clearly supports this type of behavior, USI hiring these type of employees. I'm actually shocked that Miss Green told the truth. She didn't lie and side with Luigi. When have you guys seen somebody assault somebody? The cops show up and they do absolutely nothing, and then they let the person that just assaulted somebody in front of all these witnesses stand there while the witnesses are giving their statements and giving the police their side of the story. Does that seem like good police work, good policing? Do you think those witnesses are going to want to tell the truth? The psychopath standing right there who they just watched attack and assault somebody, no reason at all? Do you think that's appropriate? Because I don't think that's appropriate, and I don't think that's good policing. I think that's like kindergartner grade knowledge. Yet these officers couldn't figure that out. As of last night, Chris does have an attorney locked in. He will be going after these fools. I guarantee you the great justice system, I mean the just us system here in Connecticut, will probably drop these charges. If not, they'll give him a program and then they'll drop the charges, but he won't actually get in trouble for these crimes. He'll probably end up in another security company in the near future, near you. I just thought this was pathetic. I feel bad for Chris. I've met Chris now, and Chris is a good dude. Definitely did not deserve this. Seems like most of these videos we post, it's undertrained and underqualified people in these positions, doing these things over and over and over again. Seems like there's a standard to get any job in this world, unless you're in public service or a cop, and there's no standards. Well, that is, of course, unless you're smart, or you qualify too well on the police tests. Then there's standards, and you can't be one. So let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments. As we get more, I will be dropping more. We are waiting on the body cameras. I will see you guys on the next one.